Okay, this is just a few reminders on using Git, GitHub, and RStudio. So you can set up an account in GitHub, and this account is called Data Science Projects. And then there are various links up here. For example, you can link to all the repositories up here. You can change the, I think it's the README file, which will change this introduction to the repositories. So anyway, we have all the repositories here, and I guess there are some popular ones here and some data here about them. So if I click on this, I can see the repositories. I guess I can sort them, last updated name, and so on. I can also go to settings. This is one way to get to settings, I guess. So I guess you can set up a public profile here. And I don't think I use this form of the settings much. Going back to the repositories, you can create a new repository like this. And then once you do that, so you can give it a name here, it will put in hyphens if you have spaces. And I seem to recall that if I don't put this in, sometimes I will get some issues when connecting with RStudio. So I'm just going to add that, and then you can create a repository. And if you want to connect to any repository with RStudio, you go to here and you copy this URL. And then you go and create a new project. And you choose version control and Git, since we're working with Git. You type in that URL and it automatically catches the name. And then you can create a project here if you are satisfied with the directory. So you can connect to any project that way, as long as you have the proper permissions. And once you do that, when RStudio opens up a new project, it will automatically have the Git tab here. And then here we have the Git tab and the Git buttons. You can switch the branches in this repository. If you want to communicate with the repository via the shell, you can do that here. Bring up the shell. You can add in a new file. For example, if I add in markdown file and that, and save it. Then you can, I guess maybe that can certainly be staged, and I don't know, I guess these can also be staged. I'm not sure that we would typically need to stage or even want to stage the project, but let's just say we did. And then you have to commit. Now, before you do any upload, I think it's called uploads, or this is called push maybe, you have to do a pull first to make sure that your current set of files is up to date with the on-site GitHub. So I'll just do that first. Pull with rebase. I'm not sure what that means, so maybe I won't do that. I'll just click on this. Okay, it's up to date. And then I can try to commit. So I'll just say I'm adding a test file, add test file, and commit it, close it, and then I can push it. And then it's done. Now if we go back here and I refresh, hopefully I'll see that there. So now you can see the changes that we've made here. Once again, just to mention that you can connect to any project this way. Let's do a few more. Let's check settings and insights. Let's check insights. So in insights, you can go to network, and you can see the most recent commits. Now we had just one commit, and it's on the main, but if we had several collaborators, this would look more elaborate. And if we go to settings, we can manage access to invite collaborators. So you have to confirm your password, and then you can invite collaborators. And there's one other thing that I'm going to mention, and that is if you go down to the bottom, and click here, you can create a new website. Now I have some other videos on how to do this, but one thing you have to do is select branch, and now we have the root branch, and you can also select a theme. There's also, I think there's a way where you can, I'll click the save. Okay, it says your site is ready to be published here. I think there's a way to change the where you're getting the web page from. So right now, since it's root, I think it will read the README file, but I think you can add some, you can go switch to here and then add some HTML files in here, and then it will read the website from those, I guess. So let's just see what this looks like. Okay, it doesn't look like much. And you can also, I guess we could go back to, well, anyway, let's change the theme first. So you can choose a theme. I'll choose this theme. And now I guess we can edit the file. I guess it created a new README file, and maybe it's different than the one we have in RStudio, which is here. Probably different. This is probably not up to date anymore because the other one, the original one, just looks like this. But now we have all of this in there, and this is actually an explanation about how to build a kind of a better web page using Markdown. So with this, we could change the page. I guess we could do something like this. So we could say, welcome to the tutorial, with a header 1 and header 3 here. And then we can have a bulleted list. I guess I don't want to keep these. And we have the original authors of this tutorial are. And then we could commit the changes. So get a better look and more, okay, and make it more informative. More informative added authors. And we could either commit directly to this branch or maybe go to a new branch. Okay, now I put that in the Markdown section here, and somehow that didn't quite work out, so maybe I don't want it there. So I'll copy that and put it back up here and see what happens. And try and save it. Okay, let's try that. Okay. Okay, so now it looks a little better. But I guess to see it actually in the style that we created, let's see if we can go back and find that. Go to settings again. Go to the very bottom here, and let's see what it looks like now. No, let's try it again. Refresh it. Okay, now. Okay, so now it looks like this. Now I guess we could have changed, put something up here, so maybe that can be fixed. And we have this. Okay, so that is a very basic, quick review of using GitHub and connecting it with RStudio. Now, there is something else actually having to do with RStudio. There is, we do have to set up our password in RStudio, and I've already done that, but that has to be done. And as I recall, I think we use a package called use this to do that. Now, I guess this may be one way to do it using the command line and the git command, but I also believe there's a way to do it from within RStudio. And this may be the instructions I was looking for. So you use this, and then you use GitHub config. You put in your username and user email for the GitHub repository or account. And then maybe you have to also run this, or this is maybe just checking it. And I guess this is the equivalent of using git commands instead of use this. And then if you actually want to switch to a different GitHub account. That takes a little bit of work. That's a little bit tricky to do. It seems like on Windows you have to do it somewhere within Windows itself, and I don't have that available, that information available right now. But hopefully you don't have to switch accounts to a different account. Okay, that's the end of this quick review.